Our boy Maxwell back in the house, and today we will be doing our haircut with the all-new cordless clipper with the phase blade. And I did switch out the phase blade from the other one to this one. I thought it looked kind of cool, but I just want you guys to know that it is that clipper, and we will be using the all-new M-Force trimmer. It sounds like a chainsaw. So with that being said, let's get him started. We'll get him caked up and welcome you guys all to this video. This is the first time for me using it to do an actual fade. I did do one customer this morning. Didn't really tell me much, but this one's going to tell me a lot. You guys know I've had Maxwell on the channel a bunch of times now, so you've been able to see sort of what one machine does with his hair versus another. So I think he's a good sample. So I'm going to use this Zuka neck guard here. Keep my man clean. He's got to go to work. You know, he's a hustler from way back. He's got to go make that money. Gotcha. So we'll put that on there. All right. I'm also going to fire up my other camera for the valued subscribers, these guys that want to actually check in with me every week. My other camera is directly behind this one, and hopefully it's in focus with any luck. So check that out real quick. Welcome back, guys. We will be doing this haircut live, and we're going to be using all Andis tools today, which is definitely something new. Except for this. You guys already know that when it comes to Maxwell's hair, I really like to do a number 2 detachable. And I actually was going to use my emerge, but it's dead. I had it in a drawer for so long, it's dead. So, but if you guys are interested in purchasing anything that you see here today, all these tools can be found at Williamsport Barber Supply. You guys can use my code Eddie10 and save 10% off of your order. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get him prepped for the skin fade. And let me know, are you guys considering buying these clippers that we're going to be using, because they're pretty expensive? So I'll start this out by saying Kenny purchased this from a guy that stops by with a van. He got a hold of them early, and Kenny made the purchase of both the Black Label clipper and trimmer, and he paid about $180 for the trimmer, and he paid $270 for the clipper. So what do we get for $270? Now, I know that if you guys buy this from Williamsport Barber Supply, you're not going to have to pay that much. But when you have a clipper for sale that costs that much, hopefully it's worth it. Hopefully you get a lot out of it. And in this case, I got a lot of stuff I'm going to share with you guys today during this video, and I also have a lot of stuff I'm going to share during the main video once we get to it. So, all right, y'all, we used the number 2. We did this, and we got them all down. He said, don't use the dog clipper. Man, you know that these were the Oster Volts. These once upon a time were a dog clipper, and Oster was all right, so here we go. We got the all-new M-Force blade. What makes this special is the fact that it is magnetic. So this blade magnetizes to this blade. That's the only pressure that it puts down on the blade. So let's see how it does. Not bad. I moved pretty quick there just to kind of test it. Not bad. Now, my main concern about using a magnetized system opposed to using a spring or any other, blades have to have a certain amount of pressure so that they work properly, so that they cut properly. If you think about your shears, and if your shears get loose, right, and that pivot point is super loose, then they're not going to cut properly. There has to be a certain amount of tension there in order for them to cut. Now, when you don't have the proper amount of tension, that's when you have problems. And with magnets, what happens with magnets is they demagnetize once they're exposed to a lot of heat. So that's one of the concerns that I have here with this. It makes some kind of noise that's not super, like, I'm not in love with the noise that I'm hearing, but it is cutting. Like I keep hearing that noise you usually hear before a blade binds up and gives you trouble. And It's not your fault. I got the chair all cockeyed over here, but it's okay. I'll fix that in a second. See, these are the live things that you usually don't see when we're going on regular YouTube videos where we cut out all the stuff. Like we cut out all the stuff out of Kamala's video on CNN. So, but anyways, it's cutting pretty good. It's cutting pretty good. We'll see how it does with lining here in a minute, but overall, as a bulk remover for $180, what do you guys think so far? My curiosity is once these demagnetize, which will probably happen. Like right now, we've ran it this whole time. That's kind of weird. They're actually pretty loud. Like I know it might not come across camera like they're that loud, but like to be perfectly blunt with you guys, these are fairly loud. It was a little bit of a surprise to me when I first turned them on. I was like, oh wow, that's a little bit more than I was expecting to get. It'll come up on this side of touch. We're gonna use the Instinct shaver. I'll tell you the other thing I just noticed right now. It's a little slippery. Like I'm grabbing it, it's like a touch slippery. Like I kind of could feel my hand slip just a tiny bit. And I'm just giving this to you guys as I, as I feel something, as it pops into my head, then that's what it is. That little tool right there is called the Studio from Stylecraft, and it's really been awesome to be able to just clean off my whole room with just a little light blower. Super cool. All right, y'all, we got the strongest electric shaver in the game. Nothing's even close to this. And we will go through it. So recently, I was just at the Fort Worth Barber Supply. I was up there at BarberCon. A lot of you guys came up to me, expressed a lot of love. That was really cool. And I remember I was doing this one model on stage, and I invited some people from the audience to come up and give this a try. Listen to this power up, y'all. You're not moving this fast with another shaver. You're just not. But I invited some people up in the audience to come up and help me shave the side of this guy's head. And every single one of them that came up there was like super impressed. And so many of them just made a loop right over to the booth and they picked him up. Fort Worth Barber Supply was running some deals that were just criminal. They were criminal. No, they were so good though. They were so good. It was honestly, it was a much bigger show than I expected. People told me that show wasn't going to be like super big, but it was quite good. It was really good. So you're just not moving that fast with other stuff. Like once I get up to that line, but in order for me to actually have this work the way it's supposed to, you just got to hold it on the scalp and let it just eat. And you see how quickly we were able to kind of take care of that. Now we're going to break out the all-new Andis Masters with the new phase blade on it. And I'm going to tell you some information that some of you Andis fans are not going to love. And honestly, it bothers me too. I don't want to see Andis struggle or Wall or really anybody. Like I want to see them produce the best tools that they possibly can, and allow the consumers to make the decision. That's capitalism in a nutshell, right? We want to see the free market, and we want to see what other people might come up with, and everybody gets to make a choice at the end of the day, right? And what Andis basically has done here, essentially is nothing. And I hate to report that to you, but it is true. So you're going to see why, and I'm going to show you right now. If we look at the back of the Andis with the phase blade, we had to break the tab in order to be able to zero gap it. How stupid could they be? Because really, we wouldn't have to break the tab to zero gap, but we had to do that for the Fat Master blade. And I even have the other one floating around here somewhere right here. So this one is not zero gapped. And if you notice, that tab is still in place, right? And that's as close as you're going to get the blade to go. So unfortunately, all Andis had to do was slot these holes out on their new blade. They designed a new blade anyways. Why would you be so lazy as to design a new blade and then not fix the one problem with it, which could have allowed us to zero gap it. Morning, Neil. Thank you guys for joining me, everybody in the house. And we're gonna start this haircut with the open position on the all new phase blade, and we'll see how it works. So I opened it up right before this, just like I do with every clipper. Very curious to know what is different about it, and essentially nothing. Listen to a little sound test. Here's the new one. Here's the old one. It's louder than the old one. I took that faceplate and swapped it because I thought that looks kind of cool. But as you guys can see, it's louder than the old one. And then the battery, right? I look at the battery, 1600 milliamps. You realize that even Wall, a company known for not giving you anything for battery life, even Wall had 2600 milliamps. And Wall has 2600 milliamps of battery life in their over-the-counter products, which if you guys haven't seen that video I released yesterday, you would know that. So 1600 milliamps, if you were really redesigning a new clipper, it's not sufficient. It's just not good enough. And it's kind of embarrassing that a major company like this could put a machine out with 1.5 hours of runtime. But if I ignore all of that, let's say I ignore the high price point that Andis commands. I ignore the fact that they ignored everything inside and gave us the exact same clipper again. I ignore all of it. This clipper, to me, is a little bit ergonomically, I don't love it. It feels a little bit too wide for my hand. Like right where I'm pinching it, I feel like I have extra tension in my hands. But the way that it actually cuts is quite nice. It does deliver a smooth cut. It does have tons of power. So, you know, if that's what you're looking for, you're definitely going to get it here for sure. So, all right, you guys, we're going to switch over to the Fat Master blade because unfortunately this only comes with one guard, which is really cool. A cool guard though. It's the Zero Guard, the OG Zero Guard with a slight improvement. So we will bust this out so I can show you guys. But check that out. And this only had to not do what they did do, and they would have been better off. They decided to, for those of you guys who don't know the story with this blade, everybody loved it, and when everybody loves it, Andis just takes it away from you. It's so true. So, all right, we got the Fat Master blade here. We're going to use this to knock out the rest of this blend. We're going all Andis today, guys. I guess we're going all Andis today. Now, the Battle of the Big Blades, if you guys haven't seen that, I shot this out against the Blur. I shot it out against all the other competitors. And to be honest, I don't really know why, but for the big blades, I do enjoy this blade. I actually like this, probably, you know, right there with the Blur Guard neck and neck. But if I'm going to be using Andis clippers to do everything, I just thought it made sense to use them for this. So, with it all the way in the open position, Andis is really the only one that really gets you up to like a 2 until Blur came out with their new big blade. So, that's, you know, kind of the deal right there. But as you guys can see, the system is working the way it's supposed to. And I'm trying not to get in the way of the camera. Y'all go ahead and drop some questions in the chat. You think I'm hating? Am I being truthful or am I hating? I mean, it's, you know, this is why, like, obviously, Andis, I don't have any problem with Andis whatsoever. Now, you guys know that Wall does not like, does not like me. Wall does not like me one bit. Andis has never sent me any hate mail, we'll say. So, I think we're on good footing. I'm just saying, like, when it comes to Andis, they must have gotten a little top heavy. They must have too many chiefs and not enough Indians up there. Because how could they have... I know they have good barbers that work for them. I know they have people like... I don't know if those people are the ones that are telling them the truth. You know, one thing I could speak for is some companies, they're not afraid to hear the truth about their tools, and they make changes. Whereas other companies probably just want to have a bunch of yes men around them. They're afraid to hear the criticism. They probably even fire the people who criticize them. So, however this Andis Masters Black Label came to be, it either came from woeful incompetence or it came from them not listening to their talented barbers that they have. And they do have some talented barbers. I would never take nothing away from them with that. I'm just speaking broadly in terms as a company. Like, how could it be that these things happen with big companies? So, really, I'm coming to Indiana soon, my guy. Me and you, bro, we're going to get together. I hope you come to that show that we're doing. I'll have more details to follow about that. So, as you guys can see, this one is fully zero gap. And I'd like to just show you the difference with that lever. So, to zero gap in Andis Masters, you basically have to break this tab off the back. Once the tab is broken, it allows this to travel a little bit further. When the tab is there, that's what it gets stuck on. So, as you can see, once you do that, it makes it really janky. Like between here and here, the blade doesn't even move. But it does allow you to zero gap it. If you put it too close, what happens is the top blade will fall off. It will make a hell of a nasty noise, and it won't be good. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to remove that line. I'm using, we'll call it jailbroken, man. He's jailbroken. Get ready for the streets. The Andis Masters is from the streets. All right, so for all the shit I just talked, and I wouldn't even call it shit talking. I'm just telling you guys how I see it. Just personal opinion, but
Truth hurts.
yeah, the truth hurts sometimes. But it's like,
Just be real though.
yeah, the thing about it is like, even Maxwell, he doesn't, maybe he don't know that much about, all the clipper companies and all the stuff. He's into different businesses. But you can hear me speaking and saying that, the truth just by listening to the facts, But even with all that being said, I might not like the shape. I might ergonomically prefer other things. Obviously, I'm not happy with the runtime. There's a lot that I feel they could do to improve this. But the way it cuts is pretty damn good. And I'm enjoying working with it at this point. It's really getting rid of the line. And, it really boils down to this. Like, is it the arrow or is it the Indian? What's with the Indian analogies today, man? What's with all the Indian analogies? Kamala was Indian once upon a time. I don't know what's with all the Indian analogies. I'm just teasing, man.
That's funny, man.
But the truth is like, it cuts pretty nice. But any talented barber worth his weight in gold. There's so much good stuff out here in this industry right now. Anybody who's really worth their weight, in cutting hair can make almost any clipper look good. Which is why, like, I try to avoid the semantics. I try to just give you guys like the facts, and then when I'm giving you an opinion, I try to tell you it's an opinion. It's just a personal opinion of mine. I feel like this company, if they really want to, they could turn things around quickly. But I also feel like they probably won't, because they have people in places at Andis that probably don't belong there. We've all experienced this, at some point in your life. You ever been to a job where like the guy who's your boss is an idiot and he's not really doing the best for the company? You guys ever been in that position? I know I have. And you think to yourself like, he must be somebody's nephew or something. Like, how could he be in charge of this whole department? This guy don't know shit. I'm sure that there's a few people like that up there for that. I mean, be real. If y'all ever do that, you could have said Andis could upgrade the battery and probably update the ergonomics. I mean, come on. You should be able to at least zero gap them by now. Yeah, you really should. I mean, I'm 100% there with you. What I would have done, I would have told them to, let's make it a little bit smaller, being that you're going to put a tiny battery in there anyways. And let's make it so you can zero gap it. And it wouldn't have cost them anything. The funny thing about it is it would cost them money to shrink the size. But for the zero gapping, that to me, that's inexcusable. Think about this. All they had to do, when you're drilling holes, you select a different size drill, and you drill these holes a little bigger, and all of a sudden, you can zero gap it. all of a sudden it's a good clipper. Like, how does that not make sense to them? Why would they sell you something that's exactly the same? Don't piss on my face and tell me it's raining, bro. Like, did they not think the internet? They still think it's like 1919 when they could like go out there and and drop a product and nobody's gonna review it and there's gonna be no accountability. So I got this zero gap. Let's see if the zero guard hits. I haven't actually tested that yet. Well, zero guard hits. It's pretty good. That's not good, but it's fine. It's natural. If I was an Andis sales rep, I would say after a little bit of time, you'll wear away that plastic and you'll no longer hear that noise. It's true. It would be true. What do you guys think? The blend's coming together, right? I didn't even take my sunglasses off yet. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's Hollywood. But one of the reasons why I'm wearing these sunglasses, to be perfectly honest with you, is not to be Hollywood, but it's because these lights are so damn bright that I'm trying to give you guys an up close and personal view of all the what's that's going on here. And I'm gonna spin you to the side. Oh, look at that. But to make a little adjustment to the camera 1 and a little adjustment to camera 2. No idea if you're in focus. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm filming the main video alongside of this video. So those of you guys who are subscribed or members or whatever, you guys are going to be getting the full video as well here. So let's go ahead. Let's remove that line. We'll go back to the phase blade here. And I got it fully closed. I got it zero gap as close as I can. I'll tell you another thing about these that make it hard to zero gap is the blades themselves. Just so you know, this cutting blade is identical. It's identical to the previous blade. There's no difference. I had kind of hoped that this blade would be longer at least to make zero gapping a possibility, but they didn't do that. So the blades themselves are absolutely identical, and it just makes everything like a little bit more annoying that essentially they're giving you the exact same clipper with only a new top blade. So if you think about it, guys, if you really want this thing for the color, so be it. Spend the $270 and get you a clipper that's a color that you like. If you really want this thing for the blade, just buy the blade and put it on a current masters that you have. I don't even think this blade is particularly necessary. Like, as you guys could see, I used the taper blade, the one that they have. I used the fade blade, which is this one. They needed to do this though because their fade blade, if anybody of you guys, I know Really's been cutting hair for a long time. Anybody who's been cutting hair for a very long time will remember what the Andis surgical fade blade felt like. And it was super, super sharp. Like, it was almost unusable. Good morning, respecting hip hop. But it was super sharp. It was almost unusable, right? If anybody remembers those days, they would know this, that Andis really needed to design a fade blade that was a little bit more like everybody else's, a little bit more middle of the road. And in essence, that's what they've done here. They've designed a blade that now they have something that's a middle of the pack, middle of the road type blade. So kudos for that. But is it worth that kind of money? I sincerely do not think that I would be disappointed if I paid for this and this is what I got. Thankfully, Kenny paid for this and this is what he got, so I could give a shit less. Williamsport Barber Supply will send me one, and you know, if I come up with any other ideas, but I honestly, I might just call them and tell them not even to worry about it. Like, there's so little difference here between this and the other one that the fact that we have one in the shop is more than enough. In all likelihood, I won't be using this too much more going forward. And I had to send my wall vapor back today. So now Williamsport will have their wall vapor back. Forward Barber Supply is carrying the wall vapors. They were selling them at the booth. Guys, I was cutting hair across from S-Craft Blends and Var the Barber. That was such a cool experience. I finally got to meet S-Craft, which those of you guys know Shannon worked with Tomb 45 for a long time, that type of thing. Really cool dude. You know, he's big, man. He's like 6'3", 6'4" or something. I look like a shrimp. But yeah, really a cool experience to be able to spend a little bit of time with him. I didn't get to spend as much time as I had hoped with him. But, you know, I'm sure I'll see him. I'll catch him at another event. We got events going for days, man. The next stop is Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'll be flying into Indianapolis. I really think the Colts are probably going to take the Bills down. I think everybody's taking the Bills down this year.
Not looking great.
No, it's not. It's not looking good. Look, when you got Josh Allen on your team, anything can happen. So that's the X factor here. But, like, man, you look at us. If you knew what I know, it'd be really hard to get 10 wins here this year. I don't think we're going to be able to do that. But like I said, Josh Allen being the X factor, a couple games go our way. Who knows? Who knows what will happen, right?
Go Bears.
Yeah, you got a good squad too. Y'all stomped a mud hole in us.
Not bad, man. Not bad.
In the preseason, did you see that?
I didn't watch much preseason, but
Oh, you guys look good against us in the preseason.
We look pretty nice, man, on both sides of the ball.
Those look like ass. Like just hot, sweaty ass. That's what I see right now. I'm not hating, but I love the Bills guys. I'm from Buffalo. I've been disappointed. I feel like a Bills fan means that you've been kicked in the nuts. It's like getting kicked in the nuts repeatedly.
Well, you're telling me, dude.
It's like buying a $270 clipper because you wanted something new and finding out that it was something old. I'm sorry, I'm hating you guys. If I hated, maybe I'm hating. That was borderline hate.
That was borderline.
That was borderline, cross the line hate. Hey, we're about to use that. We're about to use that liner on the front. We'll see how well it does. I'll jump back to this for a second here. We'll get our 1.5 going here, and I'll just do this step with the grain because I feel like I could loosen that up a little bit. We'll use our big blade. We really haven't done any actual guards. I mean, I did use the half guard, the 0 guard, the new one that Andis was actually the old one that they took away. It's kind of funny if you are a newer barber, you probably wouldn't know a lot of this history with Andis. Like even this Fat Master blade, right? Fat Master blade's cool as hell. Everybody enjoys these now. I mean, other companies have popped up and kind of took this idea and put their own spin on it, which is cool. But Andis was the first one to do something like this. And people liked it. So they took it away. So they discontinued it. And for a period of time, the Andis Fat Master blades, these blades were selling for asinine money, $300, $400. If you were buying the clipper all together, I've seen these sell for as much as $600, which is crazy to me because these were not even a $150 clipper back then. You know, you could get these back then for, nothing. So then Andis comes out with double magnetic guards. As far as I know, they were the first company to do that. And they had a really nice half guard, a 0 guard I should call it. They had a really nice 0 guard, and they had a really nice 1 guard. And I think, unanimously speaking, the industry believed that that was the best guards that we had seen so far. A lot of people switched to using things that could have this. Like I used the Masters or the Oster Fast Feeds back then, specifically because I loved those blades. So what did Andis do? They took them away. I mean, everything that, barber, they're not listening to barbers. But now, I should say, now they are. Now they realize that they've made some mistakes and it looks like they're trying to rectify some of the damage that they've caused. But I don't understand, like when you get in a room full of people who are executives who've never cut hair in their life, I don't understand how they're going to sit there and tell barbers that they don't need this when all they had to do was ask a few barbers and say, no, man, don't get rid of that. You don't have to close it down entirely. I mean, would it have killed you to keep, if they're not selling, would it have killed you to keep a couple in stock? Like, wouldn't that have been a better option? Yeah, I bet. Just keep a couple in stock, you know what I mean? You don't got to reinvent the wheel. But to be honest, I think Andis needs something big. I think they need a flagship, and this is not it. They need something that is like revolutionary. They need something that would change the game and make people look at them as a serious company. Because right now, when I go to the shows, and it's not just the shows that you guys go to, I go to the business shows. When I go to the business shows, there's not a lot of excitement or interest. I talk to distributors, I talk to suppliers. There's there's not much momentum behind Andis right now. So if there's a company out there that needs a little bit of a boost, it's definitely them. But unfortunately for me, this clipper is not it. But gotta say, for the 1.5 hours of runtime, best 1.5 hours of your life, kind of enjoy cutting with this Fatmaster blade. This is kind of fun. You know, it's not a normal thing. I don't always cut with this, but on certain customers, it works pretty good, and I kind of enjoy it. But let's see if they hit on this liner at least. Which really, this liner is not much different either. I mean, yes, the blade, it's magnetic, yada yada. But like, the reality is, we care about one thing. We don't care if it's magnetic or not. That doesn't make a difference to us. What we care about is, does it work? And if the answer to that is yes, barbers will buy it. It's as simple as that. If the answer to that is no, then, we'll probably shelf it and we won't use it. So, realistically speaking, if it hits, it hits. Then it's like, how long will it continue hitting for? That's the golden question, right? That's the question on everybody's minds. How long will it continue to work well for? And this is the trimmer that we're talking about. I'm not sure why it's so loud. I'm almost curious to know if this it's brand new out of the box, this one. A little bit of pressure there, it gets really loud. I mean, I wonder how loud it's actually getting. I have a decibel test. It just so happens to be that I do this for a living. Okay, watch this, guys. Currently, it's at 70. Okay, 77.7, which is pretty damn loud. Now I'm going to press the back. Jumps up to 81. I mean, you guys, that's pretty loud. That's pretty loud. I mean, just for comparison's sake, I'll take one of Stylecraft's cheapest trimmers that they sell. $64.8. I mean, if you want to have a conversation with your client, or if you're in a shop that's like a salon suite, which don't get me wrong, I mean, Stylecraft has a couple of trimmers and clippers that are not super quiet. But the thing about it is, Stylecraft also has options for people in all walks of life. You know, if you need something quiet, then get you some Sabers. If you need something that's cheaper, you don't mind the noise, you work in a noisy shop anyways, then sure, you can get whatever you want. For the people who are in a salon suite, this machine would be too much. For me personally, I wouldn't want to go into a salon suite where it's quiet, where there's nobody to talk to, where everything you turn on sounds twice as loud. To me, that wouldn't be the best case scenario for that machine. All right, you guys, we got a little bit of detail work to do here, but let's go ahead and let's do a little bit of line work with it, and let's see how well it does. I don't have any hairspray back here. Typically, I would put some hairspray in here. I mean, to make it fair, I probably should just go get some, right? That would be pretty fair. I'm gonna do it. Oh, I do got a can. Yeah. How about that? We'll put a little bit. Calm this down. All right, y'all. All things being even, let's see how well this thing lines. This way, a little bit so I can see. like this so you guys can actually see it cutting, hopefully. I gotta say, it's putting out a pretty sharp line. I'm not surprised. At first, I was gonna say it felt like it was pushing a tiny bit, but it's actually putting down a really sharp line. You know, so can it compete with other things in the industry for $180? Is this your clipper and then a ear trimmer? So now I start to think like, okay, it can make a decent line, but unlike the days when Andis first started making stuff, there's other options out here that make perfect lines. So then I go through the reasons of why would I buy this versus something else. Do I like the shape? Not particularly. Is it so quiet that I love it? No, it's definitely not quiet. Do I like the way it turns on and off? I actually don't, because I gotta shimmy my hand all the way down here to turn it on and off. I would much rather it be somewhere I can get to. So I gotta use my other hand to put it. These were not dropped. These were open out of the box this morning. I literally did an unboxing and then I decided to go live with you guys here today. So I know it sounds like it, but they're not dropped. And you can tell because they're cutting great. Maybe this is a loud sample. I don't know. But these things are putting in a really nice line. How does it feel? Does it feel sharp to you? Or does it feel like comfortable?
No, it feels good. I feel like the ones you used last time, I don't remember which ones were sharper, but it's putting out a good line. Do your magic, bro.
Yeah. No, it's definitely making a really good sharp line. There's no question about that. It's definitely an adequate liner. I couldn't come on here and say that it wasn't. I mean, that thing put down a really sharp line. It did seem like there was a little bit of resistance when I was cutting the bulk off the sides. Those of you guys who were here in the beginning of the video, although no snags, no pulls, and it definitely went through pretty easy. One thing I don't like about this, like off the rip, I've never been a huge fan of where this on-off switch is. I'm always like turning things on and off, and I gotta like shimmy down here to do that. So I gotta do this when I want to turn it on and off, or my other hand kind of sneaks in here. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it just seems like a thing that doesn't need to be that way. I'd rather see this on-off switch be right here on the side or up here where I can get to it. These are just the little things that are popping into my brain as I'm using it. These are obviously opinion-based. There's nothing factual about this. Well, it's factual that it's here, and I got to move my hand. But, I mean, I don't know if you guys would feel the same about this. You know what I mean? You might pick this up and say, oh, this feels good. This feels nostalgic. There's a lot of younger barbers that are coming into the industry that don't remember the days of the Andis outliners. But for those of you guys, I would say, you know, there was a day and time where Andis T outliners were at every single barbershop in the whole country, and almost all of us, one of the first trimmers we ever used was that. So, you know, for that reason, there's a lot of older barbers out there that might like this shape, but can I say it's any better than the previous one, the EXO, or really any of their other trimmers? I really can't say it stands out or nothing. I could say it's louder, but I can't say it stands out head and shoulders above anything else. That this is like, you know, some big thing we're gonna push people to go buy. I mean, I couldn't imagine people feel like that when they get it. So the Fat Master blade was pretty fun to work with. And we really only touched the zero guard during this whole process. That's the only guard I really even used. And I really didn't even use that too much. So we'll go through and we'll do our detail work. I'm going to use the razor real quick. Using my Misaki. Misaki is a really well-known shear brand that I've recently become affiliated with. So we're working it out, but you guys are going to get one hell of a deal on some great shears. We're going to have a little portal on their website soon, and you guys will be able to pick them up. But also the Turkish razors, which I absolutely love using the Turkish razor. A lot of you guys know that years ago I used to have a company called Detachables that I worked with, and they sell like $400, $300 razor holders. And you know, it's a cool, great feeling razor. Everything's good, but there's something about the Turkish razors. I don't understand it why, but they seem to really make any blade kind of shine. They do. So at the end of the day, I think my recommendation would be, for the most part, both of these machines are a pass for me. Maybe for you, you feel differently because you're excited to try the guards. I would just wait, man. I can't imagine they can get away with charging this price for very long. If a lot of people don't buy this, the price is going to come down. People obviously will buy it in the beginning. They'll catch that little bubble. They'll catch that little bump. But I would just wait, guys. Get yourself the phase blade. When they release the phase blade, put that on the other one, and you'll have the same experience. Get yourself the zero guard. They're gonna sell these separately soon, anyways. So get yourself the zero guard, and you know, I think I've just saved you a bunch of money. Any of you guys who hung in here, who watched this the whole time, I think I may have saved you guys a little bit of money here. Not everything we buy is really worth the price. These are those Misaki shears I was telling you guys about. Really, really like these, man. These are super, super sharp. Very easy to cut with. And I think I found a really good compromise for a shear size. Because with this size, I can literally do everything I like to do when I cut hair. And, you know, it's a good size for control. Anything longer than, you know, you lose the ability to do shear over comb. I mean, I should say you have great ability for shear over comb, but you lose the ability to have good control over point cutting. One thing that I see a lot of barbers forget, man, is just having shears. I just realized that the camera wasn't pointed at that. Having shears, right, can help you really square off your corners. A lot of people forget that we have shears. That this works really good to, you know, don't get yourself obsessed. Like the machine, and it's not even the machine. Just some machines do not want to cut in that corner area for whatever reason. So let's not forget that we do have other ways to get that same look. And one of those ways would be using our shears. I'm kind of liking the haircut though. I'm kind of digging it. There's one little spot right here I'm not in love with. Right here, it's got a tiny bit of residual. I'll clean that up and sorry guys, I'm used to the cell phone being able to see the whole thing. So, oh, here I go, trying to pick up the Rebel. That's been my go-to lately, man. People on that stage over at Fort Worth were like, bro, out of all the clippers, that's the one you brought. And I'm like, yeah, I can't put it down. The Rebel's like that old girlfriend. It's, you know, it was just so good with her that I had to go back. So I had to go back. You know, I feel like that about the Ergo too sometimes. Sometimes I feel like the Ergo, if I pick up the Ergo and I use it right now, I'll be using that clipper every day.
All reliable.
All reliable, man. I'll be back using that clipper every day. I know it. That's what's nice about the Fat Master blade is you can trust that it actually is as long as a detachable number 2. Some of the other big blades you can't really trust it. So, you know, that's what it is. If y'all got any questions, man, go ahead, drop them. We're almost done with my boy Maxwell here. We are going to put some enhancements, get him on point, make him looking nice and good. And we made pretty good time. I'm glad you came in early, bro. I really appreciate you for doing that, man. I texted him, you know, y'all got to give a thumbs up for my boy Maxwell here because he came in like late notice. I was like, bro, I got a new clipper. I want to test on your head. You got to get here. And then I was driving him nuts to get here early. So, you know, he made it, bro. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you, bro.
So now we will take a little bit. So some of you guys don't know Jesse Elite, but we're going to take a little bit of Jesse Elite's color. I'm going to drop it into this here gun. And we're going to use it. Now, Jesse Elite is an awesome barber out of Chicago. And he shared the stage with me at the BarberCon Dallas show. So, you know, he's also got his own color, and that's what I'm using here. And I suppose I'll just use the Andis Masters Fat Master thing to be my color card for right now. Varda Barber got some stuff too, man. There's a lot of this stuff floating around. I remember when Zoom 45 was like the only brand that really carried anything that was worth using out of the airbrush. And now I gotta say, man, there's a lot of good companies around now. That's what I get for using a piece of cardboard. Oh, that looks good. So once in a while, if your gun gets clogged, I'm gonna just open this top and try not to get this all over myself. Watch, you guys are gonna laugh at me. If I plug that, sometimes I can get a little backflow. And now look at that. Now we're making a nice spray again. That's because I traveled all the way back from Dallas, Fort Worth, without cleaning it. So I gotta say, it's a pretty decent gun. The fact that it's not completely toast. I love when it sprays fine like this. Like it's super natural if you want it to be. I do want to put this in like a tiny bit on the heavier side for day one for him, so that it lasts for the weekend for him. But yeah, man, this is all good stuff here. I don't know if you guys use enhancements or do enhancements, but you know, if not, man, open your horizons. Don't be a hermit crab, man. Just sit there doing the same shit day in and day out, man. Go out there and try to experience something new. Do something that satisfies you, you know. I love the way this stuff looks, and I'm gonna go grab my other one. I usually keep a couple Q-tips just to clean up the edges a little bit. So I'll kind of let that dry. I'll grab my Q-tips, and then smash that thumbs up, man. If you guys are digging this content, if you like me bringing it to you live like this, I enjoy doing these lives, and I give you guys literally everything I feel about the clipper. If you guys watch the full video, you're going to see that I've taken the entire thing apart. I'll show you the insides. And I got to grab, what was I going to grab? I was going to grab the Q-tips and then a color brush. Keep them busy, man.
Keep them busy.
Keep them busy. Talk to them.
What's up, chat? How we doing? I think I just broke his chair, bro. My bad, Eddie.
Oh my goodness, you guys. I hope y'all stayed in the house. Yo, we just got some mail. And my boy Chad got these. I don't even have these yet. So listen, man, if you're an influencer and you're mad that you didn't get yours yet, I don't even have mine yet. And Chad got his first. These are the Saber 2.0 with the Echo Crunch blade. Oh, Lord, it looks beautiful. Bro, this is the size I'm talking about. This is the feel I'm talking about. Man, I'm so happy these came, and I'm sorry that we're done with the haircut, and I can't use these on him. But if you stick around, I might go live one more time throughout the day. Make sure you're subscribed, smash that thumbs up, and let's go ahead. Let's finish out this enhancement, you guys, because as much as I like using the spray gun, this stuff lasts a little bit longer, right? This is Kiss Express, and the clients usually ask for this now because it lasts a little bit longer. And me personally, as somebody who wears the enhancements as well, I totally get it because it's the same thing for me too. I want this to last. Those of us who, if you know, you know. Yeah, I mean, those of us who, if you know, you know. If you wear them, you will learn a little bit more about them. It's just like when I had clients in my chair before, when I first I've never grown a beard out before, right? Up to this point. But I was giving a lot of people advice about the beard, but to be honest, I never had a beard that I was taking care of myself. Now that I do have a beard, I know a ton of little secrets, right? So it's like when you wear something, you really start to know, you know, a little bit more about it. And that's why I just put it in there in the corners there. It's nothing like crazy. You know, we put it in there in the corners. And I might even touch it up with the spray again.
So your clients have kind of said the same thing about the paint too.
Oh, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody says the same thing. Like, as much as they like the way the other one looks,
Sure.
when they leave the shop, it doesn't last. And then this one, you know, this one actually stains the skin a lot better at last, because like essentially what we're doing is we're staining the skin, and we want to make sure that, you know, it can hold on for a couple of days. Me, especially with golfing too, like, because I'll go golf nearly every day after work, and if I do a good job with this, it'll still hold up, even through the sweat, even through everything. It'll still hold up.
I can vouch for that. I play basketball, and obviously you're sweating the whole time.
Yeah.
It doesn't drip down.
No.
So, yeah, it's perfect.
Yes, sir. Man, that is so cool. I'm like so happy that we got those sabers. Man, I stole them from Chad right off from under his nose. He was in the middle of filming these bad boys. Oh, get this garbage out of here. Get this garbage out. He was in the middle of filming these bad boys. This is so cool. Which I'm gonna get down to business filming those things too here, since I'm done with Maxwell. And we'll have more to report on. This is going to be a busy week as it's turning out. I was a little bit ahead of the schedule yesterday, man. I didn't have nothing to film. I have 2 videos sitting in the kick ready to go. Like, everything is feeling good, and all of a sudden I feel like, you know, the vacation's over. the 2-day vacation is over. I got more videos to release to you guys and more information to drop. Smash that thumbs up on your way up out of here. We really do appreciate you guys showing up to the YouTube Barber Academy, where we have over 900 videos to help you learn. And if I have somehow convinced you to buy an Andis Masters, which I doubt, I think I've talked you out of it. But if somehow I've convinced you to buy the Andis Masters or anything else outside of Stylecraft and Gamma, of course you guys can use my code Eddie10 and save 10% off of Williamsport Barber Supply. Head over to WB Barber. These guys are taking care of me. I really appreciate them for sending those clippers, and I really appreciate Maxwell for coming in here and hanging out and letting me do this again. In a couple weeks, his hair is going to grow back. We'll go live. We'll do it with the Sabers, the Saber 2.0.